Okay, so I'm Bruno Hansen and I live in Truro. My story. 17 years ago I was involved in a car accident from an attempted hijacking in Cape Town. I was there out on holiday, and the car ended up rolling over me, breaking my back and paralyzed me from the waist down. I then went through 5 years of quite a searching place in my soul and finding out where I belonged in the world and what I was doing, because I used to be a captain on a surf charter yacht, so I was very active and living outdoors and had a great life surfing every day in Indonesia, and I used to be a lifeguard in England, so always outside. And so for 5 years I couldn't be outside as I wanted to be physically, but in my mind I wanted to try and live the same lifestyle that I lived before. And of course I couldn't. So the brain was faster than the body. And so that started my trip down a dark road of self-destruction, if you want to call it that. And I basically tried to drown myself one day in Mexico, and ended up couldn't drown myself, just couldn't sink. I was bobbing around, and climbed back on this longboard that I had borrowed, and I was very weak at that time. I was weighed 55 kilos. And I got pushed to the side by a small foamy and ended up riding this wave to the beach, about 30 yards, which really confused me because it was really fun and rebooted something in my system where I didn't want to die anymore. I was like, oh, that was fun. I'll try that again tomorrow maybe. I was, really tired after that. And from that first wave, 11 years ago now, I think it was 10, 11 years ago, has brought me to this place now where I just try and live in the sea as much as I can.
And I mean, what was it like from going to be someone who was so active, so outdoorsy, to then obviously suddenly going through this and being told, you might not ever be able to walk again?
Yeah, well, it wasn't might not. They said to me, you will not ever walk again. The spinal cord has been damaged to such an extent that it's impossible to walk again. So first I went through feelings of denial, and then sort of anger, and then pleading, begging, whoever, myself, God, whatever's out there, and then sort of trying to accept it but couldn't really accept it, and then fighting it, and then sort of accepting it. And then once that acceptance comes in, that's when I started really living my life. And I've had a really amazing life being in a wheelchair, but my whole, always in the back of my mind, whatever I do, I've always wanted to be upright again. I was at a wedding the other day where everybody was milling around and upright, and I was sitting in the chair. So it's just a different viewpoint. You're staring up at everyone all the time, and people are talking down to you. It's simple things like trying to get into a pasty shop where there's a step when I really want that pasty, and then the woman has to serve me outside and it's raining, or just little things. So this is why this new venture of mine is raising money for these bionic legs, which I tried yesterday. They're amazing, super cool things. I could walk. I was walking yesterday. Takes a bit more training. I have to do steps. I don't have them yet. This was a test run, so I didn't do any steps. I walked about 50 yards up and down, and it was a really incredible feeling to be standing again and to look at people eye to eye, and to be able to get from A to B without having to use a wheelchair. So mentally it was just very liberating.
What kind of a difference would it make to your life to be able to have those legs, full-time properly as much as you want?
Yeah, well, to have these bionic legs, or this exoskeleton, means, from a mental side, it gives that freedom and liberation if you want it. From a logistics side, I wouldn't use them 24 hours a day. It's just not feasible. But it would be for a huge part of the day. So with the legs plus a wheelchair, there's nowhere I couldn't go. And from a physical point of view, the health benefits are amazing, because when you're upright, your internal organs work properly. It stretches out your spine, your lymphatic system works properly. So from a health point of view, mentally and physically, it's undescribable, really. It's difficult to put into words,
And just finally then, I understand it's your friends and family who have now launched this GoFundMe campaign to try and make that happen. I mean, how does it feel to know that they're supporting you and doing this for you?
It started off with a simple little conversation with a friend and she said you should do a crowdfunding platform, and I laughed and I thought, that's for other people, you know. I wouldn't even know where to start. And they sort of pressured me slightly, and so there's 3 girls behind it now, and without them I wouldn't have been able to do it. They've really done all the admin side and promoted it and got it out there, and I'm just overwhelmed at the generosity of strangers and how my friends have rallied together. And it's not about the amount that people give. This is what I've been seeing on this. It's more about people want to help in the way that they can, and so people donate what they can. And some people it's just an email wishing luck because they're in a bit of a tight situation, and some people it's quite a large amount of money. So those people just donate what's within their means, which is amazing. And so far we've raised nearly £20,000 in 5 or 6 days. It's really, I'm blown away.
Lovely. Well, that's everything I wanted to ask. Unless there's anything else you'd like to say. What I would like to say is there's an amazing organization out there called CAF, the Challenged Athletes Foundation. They're based in America, in San Diego, but they touch people's lives worldwide. They raise money in America to help challenged athletes like myself. I got invited to go and surf in the World Championships in America. They sent me a ticket. They organized for me to stay in a hotel, gave me money to stay in a hotel for the week, and I ended up winning the competition. So I became the new world champion just by a small thing of this organization actually taking the time to find out who I was and get me out there. They're actually an amazing organization. So if there are people that need or want to do any kind of sport, but they sort of physically differently abled is what I call it, get hold of the CAF. They're amazing, and people do a lot of fundraising for them. So yeah, Perfect.
just a good bunch of people.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Ideal.
you.
All
Thank
good
you.
here?
Perfect.
Yeah.